to OBIDATTI Family Television. The program is Possible Nigeria. My name is King Kamsi, and it's actually amazing to have to be right here again. It is less than 24 hours to the day where Nigerians get to decide who becomes the next president of Nigeria. And it's been an amazing ride since we started off here, the Possible Nigeria. Every day detailing and looking into the manifesto, dissecting matters that have been enshrined in the manifesto, solutions to Nigeria's problem. And I'll keep defining the manifesto as a book of solutions. That's the OBIDATTI manifesto, the Pact with Nigerians, as a book of solutions where all solutions to Nigeria's major problems, even the problems that we didn't even know that we had as a country, solutions are enshrined in that manifesto. And is a book that anybody, every Nigerian needs to lay hands on and go through, look through it, and possibly, if you're one of those who find reading very hard, you can watch past episodes of the Possible Nigeria, because we did a good job dissecting all of those amazing points that were raised in the manifesto. Like I said, my name is King Kamsi. I don't do the show alone. I have one of the most amazing co-hosts who joins me on the show every single time, and it's amazing to have him join me on this penultimate, or maybe the final episode of the Possible Nigeria. Chuks, how you doing?
I'm fine, King Kamsi. Good morning.
I'm sorry I missed the Ibeh Chuks. That's what makes it complete. Okay, so it's the final day to the election. Everybody, fingers are crossed. Everybody's looking to see what is going to happen with this election. Nigerians are, I don't want to say bothered. Nigerians are not bothered, but Nigerians are gingered to go to the polls to make sure that their voices are being heard where it matters, and where it matters the most is at the polls. So, what have you noticed? With all of the discussions we've had from time to time on the show, speaking to people every day up on this platform, it's been amazing for me. And we've heard a lot of things. Well, from your own personal assessment, what does it look like?
Yeah, I would say Nigerians are excited. I prefer to use the word excited, because personally I'm excited. I think for once we are looking at a picture that looks very achievable. With everything has been done, the whole campaign and everything, it's very easy to see the direction Nigeria will take if we get it right. If we actually vote in the only credible candidate or front-runner of this very election, if you're able to get into that position, it's easy to look at where this country will be in the next 4 years, and you can't but get excited about that. There's this excitement, there's this hope, on the horizon. People feel like, okay, this country actually could be up for redemption, in very nearest future. So Nigerians decided to go and vote, and we're looking at news coming from regions, from the north, from the south, and you see the level of readiness by people that want to actually go out and vote and participate and voting the right leaders. I was on social media this morning. I'm seeing content creators, entertainers, seriously making content, canvassing, urging people to come out and vote, and this is where you should vote. They're not like telling you to come out and participate in the election. They're telling you, vote in this person. This is the only person that will save Nigeria. And these creators or influencers cut across different tribes. It's not just a particular ethnicity. And you can't but feel, you can't but key into that excitement. So I think we're ready.
Yes, sir, definitely we're ready. We moved from a part where people were sitting on the fence to right now where everybody has taken a decision. And at this point, if anybody's sitting on the fence as pertaining to who they should be voting for in this election, then it's a problem. It's really a problem, because Nigerians have come together to put hands together. Majority of Nigerians that understand what matters and how it matters, have come together to put hands together and say, yes, we're all going to the ballot to take our index finger, point on index finger to vote the Labour Party in. The logo of the Labour Party is everywhere. It has been everywhere. We've talked about it, the MAMA.PAPA.PIKIN. It's everywhere. I think I even have a sample of it right here. Here it is, and where you could see the thumbprint, right there. That's exactly where you should vote. The Labour Party logo. It is just this way. It's made up of 3 amazing colors: the green, the red, and the white. And it's LP. And we're going to keep saying that out here. Tomorrow, as you move to the election grounds, you need to go. The campaign season has ended, but it doesn't mean that the sensitization season has ended. We need to keep sensitizing people, even down to the day of election. Sensitize people who already know where they want to vote. but probably have a difficulty in understanding all of that. You could help them out to place their vote rightly where they should place their vote, because the Labour Party is the party to be voted for. Nigerians are hopeful, and we've seen people raise concerns about rigging, and also some concerns about how some opposition parties have been able to take up and raise people from other countries to come into Nigeria to do some, electoral malpractices.
Yeah, it's a case. I think I'm sure early this morning we talked about it, because the only thing we can predict that the mischief makers might adopt to undermine this election is to instigate a case of overvoting. The BVAS machine is programmed. Of course, everything has a loophole, to have a very high effectiveness. Then, but just like what we saw in Oshu, where there is a case of overvoting. Now, what they try to do is not because they want to have an upper hand in this polling unit or in this area, but because they want to undermine the process and get the results from those areas cancelled or nullified. So, and what we are doing is we are calling on people, the eligible voters out there, to be very alert before you embark on voting in your polling units. Meet the officials, make sure that the BVAS machines are all on zeros, and make sure that nobody is issued more than 3 ballot papers, on Saturday to cast their votes. Just everything we can do from our own end to make sure that these people don't hijack this process, because that is the only way they can be able to undermine or compromise the procedure. So we just have to be on alert and make sure that our eyes are open. Use your phones, take pictures, make videos, and if there's anything that you suspect there is a foul play, raise an alarm.
Yes, definitely about raising an alarm. Well, we also were able to, on this show, speak about a particular app, the Really Live streaming app, where you could download and let people around the world know what exactly is happening at your polling unit at a particular time. So you could just stay on the live video. The video never gets deleted. It goes straight to the cloud. And just especially when time comes and evidence is needed to show some of the manipulation, because we know that most of these opposition parties are electoral manipulators. Right from time, that has been their strategy to win elections. But we are bringing in a new dimension, a new figure of proper Nigerians voting without any electoral malpractice. This time it is different. And when I say different, I don't mean from Balablue. I mean,
it's not a town hall.
It's not a town hall. I mean actual different. And we're taking this to a space where Nigerians need to understand that this is not business as usual. This is not where it used to be, a place where people could come around and do all sorts in terms of trying to rig the election. And right now, Nigerians should be careful. And in the case where the INEC official in your area mistakenly gives you 2 ballot papers, please, I know we are all eager for a Nigeria a better Nigeria, a Nigeria that should change, a possible Nigeria, just like the program is titled. But please, in a case where you're given above 3 ballot papers, 1 for the presidential, 1 for the Senate, and 1 for the House of Representatives. Please make sure you return the extra. Make sure you return the extra. Do not think that you're doing Mr. Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed a favor by voting twice. No. In this case, it's been noted that in a case where the number of votes is way past the accredited persons that were supposed to vote in that polling units, that particular polling unit's results will be cancelled. And we don't want a case like that for this elections. We know that the electoral manipulators will use every means to make sure that there is overvoting, and so the strongholds of Mr. Peter Obi will be cancelled. But I'll keep saying his stronghold is everywhere. His stronghold is every Nigerian, because every Nigerian at this time is feeling the harsh reality of Nigeria. People who own businesses are crying about the way the prices of things are going up. Their economy of the country is looking very, very, very crazy. Daily, we're seeing a meltdown. And I keep asking if the economy is ice cream, because why should it melt so easily? We need a leader who's going to take things strategically
Put
and
it
make
back
it,
in the refrigerator.
yes, and give us back what we deserve as a country. And also for people who've raised concerns about the chances of Mr. Peter Obi winning this election, we could tell you with authority that we sit down here every day speaking to different people from the north, the east, the west, the south, and even in some other places, the hinterlands, and a lot of other places that you wouldn't even imagine. Where legs don't go, we go, because we're the media and we listen. And we'll tell you authoritatively that Mr. Peter Obi is making great progress. As at the time we are speaking to you, at the time currently is 9:42 a.m. Nigerian time on the 24th of February 2023, which is less than 24 hours or less than 23 hours to the election day. We could tell you authoritatively that Mr. Peter Obi is the #1 and the leading candidate in this election. So please, as you go out tomorrow, for those who have their PVCs, for those who are ready to vote, and for those who are ready to take up the mantle and do what is right, the vote, or right now, the party you're supposed to vote for is this party. Look at it. It says the Labour Party, the Labour Party logo. Right here, you're going to see this logo. The logo is the logo with the smallest unit of society, which is the family, a mother, a father, and a child. Mama, Papa, Pikin, Ne, Na, Nawa, Baba, Atiyawu, Baba, and Omo. You can see it right there. It is just staring clearly at everybody. We're going to take this and take it, keep it at heart. Make sure you learn it, teach people around you, because this is the final lap and this is OBIDATTI's journey to victory. So we are not going to make any mistakes, and please, just avoid as much as possible invalid votes. We've seen in so many cases where invalid votes have been used to reduce the votes of a particular political party. Let's avoid as much as possible. Remember, while you're thumbprinting is your index finger, and make sure you don't move past the box or the lines that have been stipulated for the voting. Every voting should be strategic, should be monitored, should be taken serious, because every single vote matters. Now the case is not even about winning anymore. The case is winning with a very unarguable margin, because right now Nigerians need to show this political mongers, and in some other people's languages, the political jingoists, that we are tired of bad governance.
We can't give them any room to compete or to contest the election, the results.
True.
Of course, there is always that case of the losing party or the losing opposition wanting to go to the court. We are trying to get the margin so wide that the case of going to court is almost impossible. Very discouraging. So, and I'm sure that will happen, because if you look at the polls and the statistics that have been coming in for some time now, it is very obvious that the Labour Party candidate is going to have a very sweeping victory across the regions in the country. And I think that will translate to how effectively he has campaigned. He has toured almost all the states. I think he's the only candidate probably that have some states he visited twice.
Yes.
There's some states, I think, like him, Ozi Borno, he was there twice. He went to all the markets, attended every town hall meeting.
Even the places that other candidates were afraid to go.
Yeah. So this man has paid his dues, not just paying his dues. He has identified that he's someone that is willing to risk his life, to put his life on the line to save this country. And it is very difficult to think why somebody in this country, why any Nigerian, patriotic Nigerian, I mean, some are really unpatriotic, because that's the only reason why you should be supporting someone else than the person that you know that has solutions to your problem. So it's very difficult to understand why anybody won't see reason to vote in Peter Obi as the next president of this country than to choose someone else. So, but I mean, democracy gives you the option of making your own choice, because if not, I think we need to compel some people, carry them on their head, take them to the polling unit on the day of election, and make sure that they thumbprint on the right party. But for the sake of democracy, they're allowed to vote wherever they want to vote.
Yeah, the people who are worse off are the people who spent a lot of time queuing up to get registered. After queuing up to get registered, you queued up to pick your PVC, and you queue up to get cash, you queue up to get fuel, and on the day of election, you can't queue up to vote. You decide to sit at home. I wonder what kind of human being you are. I wonder...
Suffer not to tire you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you never get tired of suffering. I don't know if it's some sort of Stockholm syndrome that gets into you, and it makes you not think with your conscious mind. And we're trying to take that off people right now. We're saying that this is the last lap. This is the final lap. This time is the journey to victory. We're counting down in hours. We're counting down in minutes. We're counting down in seconds. How long it's going to take for Mr. Peter Obi and Yusuf Baba Ahmed to take up the mantle of Nigeria. It is time for Nigerians to stand with one voice and tell the populace, the electoral populace, the electoral space needs a rejig. It needs a reshuffle. We need to take out the vampires that have steady sucked into our economy, sucked into our nation's wealth, without even giving the people the dividends of democracy. National character has been failed. The federal character has been failed. Every single thing that should be put in place has been failed. Nigerians have been failed. Our education system is in shambles. Health system nothing to write home about. Are we even speaking about the dilapidated structures? Infrastructure is nowhere to be talked about. The roads, the power. Are we speaking about pipeline, steady vandalized, and we're not catching the criminals? People stealing the nation's wealth, and yet we hear stories. Are we speaking about the EFCC that steady, talks about politicians who steal our wealth, get them arrested? We see a lot of seizing, and none of them gets back to the people. We see lots and lots of stories of how loots that were taken out of the country are returned, but nothing gets to the citizens. The populace is hungry. We're receiving lots and lots of cries from people. Daily, we see people move from a particular point of success to a point of poverty. For how long is this going to go on? For how long? And that is the pain that every Nigerian is taking to the poll tomorrow. That is the pain that every Nigerian is taking to the poll tomorrow, to make sure that Nigeria is great again. We are the giants of Africa. We need to remain the giants of Africa. It is no more a case of tribalism, or a case of religious sentiment, or a case of, if you're one of those who's still riding on tribalism and religious sentiment, then I'm sorry, I must say to you that you are unpatriotic, and you should not even be considered as someone who has Nigeria's interests at heart. At this time, we're looking at the future. The future is bright. The future is glaring. The future is widely spoken about, and we are making sure that Nigeria returns to Nigerians, and Nigeria will not be the product of a particular cabal. The government is not cabalocracy. The government we run is democracy, and democracy is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. The people have put in the vote you in, but what we see in the cabalocracy, the government comes and pays the people. Most times don't even pay them, deceives them into voting for them. And when they put them in, they run the government by themselves, taking the people out of the equation, watching the people suffer daily. But all of this has to end. And I trust that every Nigerian who's watching right now is taking it into their power, is taking it into their hands, is taking it into their minds, to not forget all of the things that have happened. Are we speaking about the Lekki Toll Gate massacre? Are we speaking about the rise and fall of the, or did I say fall? Sorry, the steady rise of the dollar? Are we speaking about the rise in the price of food? Are we speaking about food scarcity? Are we speaking about naira scarcity? Are we speaking about fuel scarcity? Are we speaking about our impoverished health system? Are we speaking about a lot of things that should be spoken about? I don't want Nigerians to forget that. Take all of this into your mind. Take all of this into your heart while we go to the poll. I remember the parties that brought us into this is the PDP and the APC, and we can't bring them back into power. LP is the party that you should be voting for. Labour Party, the MAMA.PAPA.PIKIN, the logo that shows the smallest unit of society, that shows the family. Please, that is the party that you should be voting for. The party you can see on your screen right now, that's the party you should be voting for. And remember, our motto is forward ever, no backwardness. When it comes to Labour Party, there's no backwardness. The Nigerian Labour Congress, a lot of other parties have collapsed structures to join together with the Labour Party to make sure that victory is ensured in different parts of the country, different geopolitical zones, and we're seeing greatness return to Nigeria.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very, very solid, should I say, sermon from you, King Kamsi. I think everybody watching gets the message. The idea is to go out tomorrow and change this country, change the course of this country from the downward trend where we are currently to the upward trend where we are supposed to be going. And hopefully we are being as optimistic as we've been throughout the course of this campaign, that at the end of the day, Nigerians will have reasons to celebrate. You know, just like supporting a club, and at the end of the day, your team wins the Champions League. You know, that euphoria, that feeling. And that is how we are expecting to feel at the end of the day of this election, that by the time the results are being announced, that Nigerians, especially the youths, who have been the champions, the front runner, they've been the foremost front of this whole ideology, you know, pushing and trying to change the country for good, because this country belongs to us. It belongs to the younger generation, not these old cabal that have lived their life, you know, looted this country, damaged the country, and they just want to, you know, keep taking and taking before they will leave. But we're saying, no, this is our country, and want to preserve it, want to change it, want to make it better, want to make it habitable, so that we don't have to leave our country to go elsewhere to seek for greener pastures. So we believe that at the end of the day, what we cause to celebrate.
Yes, and that's much we will take on this episode of Possible Nigeria. It's been really amazing having to emphasize on all of these points that we've made on the show today. There's a final lap, and there's a whole lot that still needs to be talked about, but we are looking forward to Nigerians to make sure that they make the right decision for whatever is the theme. And right now we're taking it seriously, and we're taking it evidently to make sure that Nigeria returns to Nigerians, most importantly. So thank you so much. And remember, you can follow us on all our social media platforms. It's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and also on Instagram at OBIDATTI Family TV. And you could also reach out to us on WhatsApp. WhatsApp number is right there on the screen. You could just text us on WhatsApp there. And definitely tomorrow we're going to be having one-of-a-kind surveillance and covering of the whole electoral process. We'll be out here letting you know where it's happening, why it's happening, how it's happening, and at what time it happened. And definitely be sure that we're going to keep you informed. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel right now so you get notifications as soon as we start broadcasting the electoral process from location to location. And be sure that we're going to keep it 100 around here, and keep an eagle eye and 360. There's going to be a situation room, so in case anything is happening in your polling unit while you're voting tomorrow, make sure to give a stop by here, key in here, and let us know how it's happening and where it's happening. And surely, like I said, surely we're going to pass the news to the public and keep people informed of what is happening. So right now, thank you so much for this episode. Keeping it with us on this episode of Possible Nigeria, and other programs that you're going to meet you on this channel today. We have the OBIDATTI updates coming up next, and a lot of other programs coming up after that. So please stay with us. And remember, myself and Chuks, we love you, but God loves you more. Au revoir.
20th October 2020. Nigeria government off lights by innocent citizens for Lekki Tollgate.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says no death was recorded in Tuesday night attack in the Lekki Tollgate area of Lagos State. Sanwo-Olu admitted that soldiers opened fire on NSAS protesters.
Those who suffer casualty during the gunshot need to answer some questions too. How are they there? How long were they there? What kind of characters are they?
Military, they off the lights. Today, 20th October. We are helpless. We are peaceful, they are killing us. We are dying. 8 people. We are dying.
We don't think why our country people begin suffer.
The kind shaking wey our eye don't see, our mouth no fit talk am. Bag of rice wey dey buy 10k before, e don reach 50k now.
Oh yeah, yakata for we country. But yet, we still dey suffer on top poor matter.
You go school, spend 6 to 7 years on top 4-year course. all because of ASUU strike.
And you go still comot, you no go see work. Now, the power dey our hand to choose better person. We get the capacity to make Nigeria better.
And the only person wey fit do am for us na Peter Obi.
Naija, make we no miss this opportunity. Make we vote Peter Obi and UBIDATTI as President and Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Vote LP. Vote Mama, Papa, Pikin.